Washington signed it, Israel signed it, Lebanon signed it. Hours later, Beirut was on fire. Hezbollah supporters blocked roads, burned Tyres, clashed with their own army. One protester's message? This is a betrayal written in the blood of martyrs. A peace deal designed to disarm Hezbollah. Lebanon's streets just answered. Violent protests erupted across Beirut and its southern suburbs on June the 26th, hours after the United States, Israel and Lebanon signed a trilateral framework agreement in Washington aimed at restructuring security arrangements in southern Lebanon and paving the way for Hezbollah's disarmament. Footage from Beirut showed hundreds of Hezbollah supporters carrying Lebanese and Hezbollah flags, blocking major roads with burning tires, riding through the city on motorbikes, and clashing with Lebanese security forces. Soldiers were deployed to contain the unrest, while firefighters and security personnel worked to extinguish fires and reopen blocked roads. The agreement was signed at the US State Department by Israeli Ambassador Yitzhak Leiter and Lebanese Ambassador Nada Hamadeh Moawad, with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosting the ceremony.
Thank you. Today is a good day in that we're happy to announce a framework agreement between the sovereign government of Lebanon and of course the government of Israel, with a mediation and support of the United States of America that begins to put in place a framework for lasting peace and security.
Washington also pledged $100 million in humanitarian assistance and more than $30 million to support the Lebanese armed forces. According to reports, the agreement establishes pilot security zones where the Lebanese armed forces would assume security responsibilities, testing a phased mechanism for Israeli redeployment and Lebanese army deployment, while committing Lebanon to restoring the state's monopoly over the use of force and the verified disarmament of non-state armed groups. The announcement immediately triggered anger among Hezbollah supporters.
This agreement will not pass, that's it. Far be it from us to accept humiliation. Why won't it pass? Because this is not a proper agreement. This is an agreement where they are selling us out and betraying us with the blood of the martyrs.
Another protester, Ali Kashi, accused Lebanon's leadership of abandoning the resistance.
I am a Lebanese citizen. My only mistake is that I defended my land. My only mistake is that I defended my home. My only mistake is that I defended my wife and children. This is the mistake that I made. I am a person against Israel. Anyone who wants to recognize Israel is my enemy, just as Israel is my enemy. Joseph Aoun my enemy, just like Israel is my enemy. Joseph Aoun doesn't understand anything about Netanyahu. Neither he nor Nawaf Salam, because both of them are Zionists.
Kashi also appealed directly to Lebanon's Christian community.
What is my fault? What is my fault if I am defending my land and my children? I want to address a message to the Christians in Lebanon, who are my brothers and my family. I want to tell them, this is Israel, the one that killed and crucified Jesus Christ, whom you believe is God, just as I believe he is a messenger. It is okay. You are supposed to stand with us instead of saying, we want to go and drink alcohol in Tel Aviv, revealing intent to open an embassy in the heart of Akrafiyeh, while the one who hosted you is Zionist.
Another demonstrator criticized the Lebanese military's deployment.
We want to ask the Lebanese army, instead of bringing reinforcements and other things, they should have brought reinforcements to the Kfar Tibnit barracks, which they evacuated and put on the media, and they were happy about it with the Lebanese media. We know that they are part of us, and they know that we are part of them. But go back to your commanders. Back off, buddy, back off. We only want one thing from them, which is to treat us humanely or to stay out of it.
In southern Lebanon, Tyre resident Imad Saeed also condemned the agreement.
I felt shame and disgrace because we are talking about around 82 villages in the south that have been destroyed or leveled. You are talking about 1 million Lebanese who are displaced from their homes and outside of their land. So what kind of agreement are they talking about? These areas that they are calling experimental and exemplary? The Zionist enemy? This enemy understands nothing but the language of resistance and force.
Political opposition quickly followed. Speaking to Al Mayadeen on June 26th, Hezbollah MP Hassan Fadlallah declared,
Hezbollah would cling more to its resistance and its weapons. The movement's opposition was serious and would not allow implementation of the so-called agreement. The agreement will not pass. Lebanese authorities should withdraw from negotiations and rescind all decisions taken against the Lebanese people in connection with the negotiations.
Fadlallah added that any direct talks with the Israeli regime is a violation of Lebanese law.
The direct talks with the Israeli regime violate Article 52 of the Lebanese Constitution. No individual has the right to cancel the state of hostility towards Israel.
Opposition also extended beyond Hezbollah. Lebanese Communist Party Secretary General Hannah Gharib wrote on X,
"From the very beginning, we rejected the normalization agreement on the demarcation of maritime borders with the Israeli enemy. So how can we now submit to an agreement of subjugation and surrender with it? There is no peace with the entity of racial segregation and genocide. Let efforts unite to bring down the agreement of shame."
The protests underscore the deep divisions inside Lebanon as the US-backed framework seeks to reshape the country's security architecture while confronting Hezbollah's long-standing military role. Israel's ceasefire with Lebanon is no longer being challenged only by Hezbollah. It is now being challenged from inside Israel's own government. A heated cabinet meeting has exposed growing divisions over whether the ceasefire is protecting Israeli soldiers or putting them at greater risk. Several ministers argued that Israeli troops operating inside southern Lebanon are being excessively restricted under the current agreement. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir was among the strongest critics. Questioning the military's approach, he asked why Hezbollah was not being stopped before it could rebuild.
What happens with an emerging threat? If you see Hezbollah arming itself, why don't you dismantle them?
Ben-Gvir went even further, openly calling for the ceasefire to collapse. Referring to the recent incident in which several Israeli soldiers were wounded by a Hezbollah grenade, he argued that Israel should respond by striking hundreds of targets. National Missions Minister Orit Strock backed that position, saying Israeli troops inside Lebanon now feel exposed rather than protected.
IDF forces in Lebanon feel like they're in a firing range. It's better if they respond to every threat immediately.
The criticism prompted an immediate response from Israel's military leadership. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir reminded ministers that the current situation was a direct consequence of the political decision to accept a ceasefire.
You wanted a ceasefire.
Ben-Gvir replied bluntly.
"I don't want a ceasefire exactly for this reason."
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sought to calm the debate. He insisted that Israeli soldiers are not being prevented from defending themselves and stressed that every immediate threat continues to receive a response. Defense Minister Israel Katz echoed that message.
There are pros and cons to the ceasefire, but we don't endanger any soldier. Every soldier can respond immediately.
The political argument comes as negotiations with Lebanon continue in Washington. Although officials describe the discussions as tense, growing American pressure appears to be pushing both sides towards limited compromises. For now, the ceasefire remains in place. But inside Israel, the real debate is no longer whether Hezbollah can be trusted. It is whether the ceasefire itself has become a strategic liability, even before the fighting has truly ended.